Today on the Neo Marketing Podcast, we're going to talk about a subject that nobody wants to talk about, but every company should be paying attention to, and that's crisis communications. We've also got some bonus spots. Linda Wesley from IABC, the president of the Oklahoma City chapter, will be here with us.
Welcome to the weekly Neo Marketing Podcast, featuring one half of the Golden Group C-Suite, Kyle Golding and Pritch Pritchard, APR PRSA Fellow.
So, Kyle, we're going to talk today about something that nobody wants to talk about, but everybody needs to consider in their planning, and that's crisis communications.
It's just like insurance. You got to have it, but you hope you never need it.
You betcha. And you can't open a newspaper, you can't watch the TV, you can't look at social media without seeing examples of how people are not doing it well.
And the problem is, if you're not prepared, it's too late.
Right, exactly.
Even if you respond well, the time lapse between trying to figure out what you did and your actual response is the problem.
You gotta think ahead. You hear a lot of people talk about plans. They want a crisis communications plan, and I think that's great. I mean, you could go through that drill, but
it's a good idea.
The impetus behind that is good. The plan itself is flawed because it's obsolete as soon as you've written it. Put it on the shelf, you'll never pull it down. But understanding who to talk to, understanding who's got what information and who's responsible for what, aka a protocol, is certainly a way to go, and companies need to do that. And they need to do more than just put the protocol together, they need to practice it.
Yes, they need to empower their employees, They need to educate and make sure that they understand not only what's expected of them, but what they can do to play their role in the big picture. They got to understand the big picture.
Absolutely. Where I see companies falling short is in not doing the practicing part of that thing. It's like golf or anything else. You've got muscle memory that you have to build and then maintain. So I'd recommend starting slow. Let's do a tabletop, which is getting a bunch of people around the conference table, taking a scenario and peeling it back, everybody talking about their contributions, what I would do, what you would do.
And don't let anyone sit in the back of the room and not contribute.
Absolutely. There are no strap hangers. There's strap hangers.
The kids in the back of the room,
they
right?
Have to play. Absolutely.
Take everyone's cell phones away, turn the emails off, turn the phones off, and focus on what it is you're doing. Just the same way you would a fire drill.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then once you've mastered those tabletops, then you do the mock exercise, which is like, it's no kidding, but it's not real. And everybody has to do what they would do, where they're at, and it really will make the. I'm looking at your artwork behind you. We are strong. Right. It'll make you strong.
There you go.
It'll make you strong.
Every plan, every scenario, every situation, every protocol is only as good as the people that you have in place and their training or understanding of not only what to do, but that they're expected to do or not do something. If they just sit and wait, well, the house is going to burn down around them.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the hardest things is getting leadership over top dead center. So there's some pointers that I've picked up along the way. And the first one is that bad news, unlike a fine wine, does not get better with age.
No.
And a corollary to that is go ugly early. So you can't wait. And again, even if you're practiced and you hesitate, you're going to be in trouble.
The flip to that too, as well, is the balance you have to maintain is you can't say things you don't know, and you definitely, absolutely never lie or mislead the public.
Or speculate.
Right.
Absolutely.
These things always come back to get you, and it's the cover-up is always worse than the crime.
Absolutely.
So,
and the truth will out.
Right.
Absolutely.
So every time when you don't know, you admit that you don't know. When information is coming, you let people know. When it is bad for you, you own up to it. But it's not as important that what has happened now or is happening, but what you're going to do in the future to prevent it or what adjustments you're going to make from it.
It's a 3-step process. Tell them what you know, tell them what you don't know, tell them what you're doing to find out.
That's right. Never, ever, ever lie.
Oh, God, no.
Not in modern age. That information is going to come out. It's going to come back to you. Get ahead of it first. Admit your blame when you need it. Put it where it needs to be when it happens. And make sure that people understand that you're taking it serious and that you're moving forward in a positive way.
Well, and we'll take lie writ large. Omission is a lie as well.
Yes, misleading, omission, failure to communicate, anything that you do that you know as you're standing in front of those TV cameras that what you're saying is not exactly right. is going to lead you down a path that's going to end up failing you.
Absolutely.
Which is also why you make sure you don't have 50 people in front of TV cameras, because they're going to have 50 different stories.
Single voice.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you didn't say the 4-letter word that just would have had me on camera leaping across the table. Never, ever, 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 ever spin.
Yes.
Which is to put a positive light on things so as to make the situation look better.
It is what it is. Communicate what's happening, what you're doing about it, etc. People will figure this out. They see spin, and not only do they see it, but they're going to mistrust you moving forward. You can gain back trust if you make a mistake, if something happens, whatever it is. You can gain back trust if you've done something bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes things that's bad happen around you, so you definitely don't want to do something that puts you in a hole from that.
Right.
You want to stay on the positive side of it, because regaining trust is the hardest thing there is to do.
Absolutely, but you cannot stay on the positive side of it by shading things to fit what you think will work.
Right.
The other piece of that is, in a crisis, don't over reassure people.
Correct.
That sounds kind of counterintuitive.
Be realistic.
But be realistic, right? We're never going to have this happen again. Well, as soon as you say that, something similar is going to happen, or maybe the same thing because what you put in place didn't exactly work. So Puerto Rico is a great example. We're going to have aid there right away. Well, that's over reassuring because it didn't happen. The ports were closed, the airports were closed, the infrastructure was shot. It's going to take a while, so be upfront about that.
Also, the public all have their own preconceived notion. What is right away?
Right.
Today, tomorrow, this week, next month?
Exactly.
So what you're saying, people are going to make up their own minds about what that means, so be as simple, clean, clear, and precise as possible.
The bottom of this, what you want to avoid at all costs is being tried in the court of public opinion.
Right.
I mean, the lawyers are going to be worried about getting tried in the court of law, but the public relations folks, the marketing folks need to be paying attention to not being tried in the court of public opinion.
Which is why it's super important that you're prepared, that you professionally organize and put your protocols into place and to train on them, etc., so that all your staff is ready and prepared. And if you don't have the capability to do that, work with an outside entity, a third party, people who are professionals, not just simply someone who saw it one time or read it in a book, but people who are professionals with experience to build your protocols and help you do the training and follow up, especially as your business expands or contracts, but employees change. You have to keep everyone up to speed. Always make sure either someone in your organization has experience and skill, or bring in an outside entity to help you do this, because again, just like I said from the top, just like insurance, you never want to use it, but when you need it, you need it in place.
One of the first things you need to do to get prepared is risk assessment.
Absolutely.
So an outside entity can be very helpful to you in that regard because they don't have any preconceived notions. It's like proofreading, you
they also don't have to worry about stepping on anyone's toes or office politics.
Absolutely.
Or outside, third-party vendors can be very brutally honest. That's why the guy who comes to looking for your fire extinguishers, he doesn't care that, it doesn't really go over there. He needs you to have a fire extinguisher in that place. There needs to be the sprinklers. There needs to be the smoke alarm. They don't care what it looks like. They don't care if it's in your way. It's because they're doing their job. That's what outside third-party voices can be sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, we have just scratched the surface. I could talk crisis communications all day.
We could probably do a whole series on crisis communications. Maybe we will.
Who knows?
If you guys think we should, hit the comments below in whatever format you're watching this, and let us know if you want to know more about crisis communication or other things surrounding this type of communication. We'll try to address it on the show in the future. Hey everyone, welcome back to another special edition of the Neo Marketing Podcast. I'm here today with Linda from IABC, and she's going to tell us all about what they do at the International Association of Business Communicators. How are you today?
I'm good. How about you, Kyle?
Fantastic. Tell the folks who don't know about IABC and specifically the local chapter and what you guys are up to.
Sure. So we are the International Association of Business Communicators, which I know is a mouthful, so we typically go by IABC.
Makes sense.
And what we are is a broad foundation of communications experts. So we're a professional association, but we really look at that broad definition of communications. So we invite all sorts of people to be guests, to be members, whether you are in graphic design, photography, video, communication strategy, PR, marketing, social media. Really, if what you're doing touches communications in some way, we'd love to have you come join us, come learn more about the organization. So we really do pride ourselves on being that broad foundation.
So not specifically PR, specifically marketing, but anyone who is doing communications professionally.
Yes.
Very good. And that definition continues to kind of broaden as technology and business changes and things like this. The need for communication changes and gets more interesting every day.
It does. It does. And we obviously, the board and the members, we try to keep up with what's going on and and we want to bring relevant content, relevant programming to our members and to the Oklahoma City area. So we're always looking at what's new, what topics are hot. We had a big debate a little while ago on, do we want to have a specific program, a specific lunch about chatbots and autoresponders and all of these things? Because that's a new thing. Like, you've got this automated customer service, but there's still it's still communications.
Communication teams can end up having to think about it, right?
Right. So we try to stay on top of it. Certainly SEO, social media, video, the role that's going to play. Those are all topics that we've talked about and will continue to talk about in our professional development.
So you have a regular monthly meeting.
We do.
You have a different subject matter expert coming in and speak to your members. But it's not just members. Anyone can show up, right?
Right. Certainly our members get a reduced rate to come to lunch, and we also do have some members-only programming where we go a little more in-depth with some workshops on some of the key topics. But our regular monthly luncheon is the first Thursday of the month, and we meet at the Bolt Construction Building that's on Hefner.
Beautiful building.
It is a great building, and it's a wonderful space. So we meet at 11:30 for networking, and then we start our program right at noon, and then we get everybody out and back to work by 1. Out by 1 to get back to work. They may not get out and back.
So what's your next upcoming event?
Sure. So our next event will be March 1st, and that's going to be a really fascinating topic. So we actually have one of our board members, Denise Vladovich, who's going to come speak about communications literacy and making sure that you're communicating in a way that your audience can understand. So
that makes a lot of sense.
It does. And I think even as professional communicators, we gloss over the fact that the people we're speaking to may not have the same education level that we do. They may not have the same language skills.
Definitely not the same experiences, right?
Definitely not the same experiences. So Denise has a background in healthcare communications and healthcare literacy, and does a lot of work with an actual literacy group. And so she's really going to talk about how do we write and how do we message, whether that's video, what other ways can you bring messaging to the table that can help reach people that are of a lower literacy level, maybe people who are not native speakers of English. So it's, that's a growing issue right there in communications, is are you reaching your audience with a message they can understand?
These are all the challenges we're going to have in 2018 and beyond, right? Is the multitude of layers and levels of communication, right?
Sure.
And different audiences, etc. That's a good topic. Marketing people get accused of, doing marketing talk all the time.
Right.
Hey, pitch it like this. Like, oh, you sound like in a TV commercial. Yeah, that's what we do, right?
Mm-hmm. And then on April 5th, Thursday, April 5th, we're gonna look at that internal audience, because that's also a huge market for communicators as well. And so Diana Rogers-Yeager is going to come in and speak on employee appreciation, employee engagement. She has a relatively new business that is really focused on employee appreciation programs that are data-driven and understanding where your employees are and understanding how to engage and appreciate and leverage their abilities in your workforce. So I'm really excited about that luncheon as well. Diana's a great speaker, and she's very passionate about that topic.
True. She's very interesting. I've had some conversations with her when she launched her business. Internal communication and especially employee appreciation and things like this are going to be huge for business going forward, because it's how we're going to keep the best employees.
Right.
Keep them engaged, happy, etc. Happy employee is a good employee. Pritch and I on the regular podcast have talked recently about internal communications and the importance of that. In terms of like transparency, the C-suite not kind of floating above everyone, but a top to bottom communication theory.
Right.
For me, I'm a big, huge believer in that. Pritch is a little bit more traditional in that, but we definitely believe in internal communication as being highly valuable. So it sounds like two really good, interesting speakers coming up back to back. Mm-hmm. Tell the folks how they can find you guys online, if there's information about memberships or events, etc.
Yeah. They can find all of our info on IABCOKC.com. So we've got our website. You can learn more about membership in the organization. You can also see our upcoming events. We are about to launch a new website.
Oh, good.
So that's
Always
coming,
exciting.
It's coming very soon. I think a lot of us know that that's a process all its own.
Right.
So we're excited about the new website coming soon. But
And you guys are on social media as well.
We are on social media, so we're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
There you go.
Our VP of Communications, Tim Prevey, will be excited that I remember to tell people that we're on Instagram now.
It's all important, right? And always changing.
Yeah.
That's always changing too, right?
Yeah. So we're IABC OKC in all of those places.
There you go, folks. So check out IABC OKC online on social media. Find out about their events. Maybe you want to become a member. Thank you for dropping by today.
Thank you so much, Kyle.
There's open house on Monday someplace.
Right. So here, our new office, 3810 Project, which is 3810 North Tulsa Avenue in Oklahoma City. We left 1219 Creative the end of last year. We're at the 3810 Project, which is a great startup incubator type place, co-working, small offices, and warehouse space. But we're having the grand opening ribbon cutting with the Northwest Chamber on Monday of next week. And at the same time, as part of that kickoff is myself and the folks from Sandler Training are doing a 3-part sales and marketing
Sweet.
lunch and learn professional series
Sweet.
put on by the Northwest Chamber as well. We're going to discuss the difference between advertising, marketing, and sales.
Nice.
The folks at Sandler Training, that's what they do is sales training. They're awesome at it. I've been through the Sandler Training. I'm a real big fan of it. And so I'm really excited about working with them, super excited about working with the Northwest Chamber, and I'm very excited to be showing off the 3810 Project space with our offices, co-work, and everything else. So you guys, again, watch our social media and our website for information on that. Stop by Monday and check out the space, and if not, go online to project3810.com.
And Tuesday, you and I are doing something at Metro Tech. I'm very excited about.
We are. We're doing one segment of a whole course for very small business owners. Businesses that 1 to 5 employees. Metro Tech is doing what they do, right? They serve the community. So it's a low cost, low commitment. I think it's a 7 or 8 part series. They have legal issues, they have CPAs, and they have us coming in and talking about marketing and advertising for small business.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited about it. It's going to be good.
It's going to be fun for me to teach a class with the professor himself, the head man.
Pressure. No pressure.
I'm going to let you lead the way. I'm just going to fill in behind you. So that's the stuff we're working on. We hope you guys are working on some interesting stuff. And check us out next time on the Neo Marketing Podcast. Good luck.
Ciao.